Good morning, AM 860 and FM 95.1, KWPC. I'm Jordan Davis. Thanks for joining us here from Moving Forward this morning. As always, brought to you by Muscatine Power and Water. Say hello to Mocklink Phone, your new local phone company. Fiber customers get it now. Switching is easy, and you can keep your old number. Learn more at mbw.org. I'm Jordan Davis. Joining me in the studio this morning, Latin Thunder. How are you this morning, Latin Thunder?
I'm doing great. How you doing?
I'm doing great, and we're really excited to have you in to talk a little bit about Impact Wrestling that's coming to the Muscatine County Fair. And this is a whole new event for the Muscatine County Fair. This is something new, something a lot of people probably haven't seen before, and we're excited for a pretty good show. And I think you guys are going to give it.
Yeah, it should be a great event. Impact Pro Wrestling, first time coming to the Muscatine County Fair. As you said, first time they've had pro wrestling at the Muscatine County Fair. So, we're really excited and pumped to be putting on a big show. There's going to be some great stars there. Former Iowa Hawkeye Steve Manders will be wrestling at the event. There'll be an IPW wrestling title match featuring their champion, Maddie Starr. Women's wrestling, Miss Frankie J will be having an IPW women's title match. And, of course, Latin Thunder, local wrestler Latin Thunder, myself, will be wrestling as well. And so I'm excited every time I get a chance to wrestle in my hometown area. It's always cool. It's always exciting and fun.
Awesome. Take 1 second here. We'll be able to edit this out, but I want to point that mic a little bit more at you. Sorry. Now, you mentioned that you're going to be wrestling tomorrow, too. So do you have any big rivalries in this group that you're going to be coming up against?
Fortunately, I've been able to wrestle all kinds of wrestlers, in different promotions. In IPW, I've had a chance to wrestle a lot of the great talent there. Maddie Starr, and he and I have wrestled several times. Steve Manders and I actually, even though we're good friends, had a wrestling match for an IPW County Fair show last year. Always cool to get in the ring with a young athlete like Manders, trained by Seth Rollins, WWE superstar, with the Black and Brave Wrestling Academy out of the Quad Cities. No, with IPW, I don't necessarily have a terribly tough or strong rival in there. It's just always great to wrestle for IPW. I wrestled for IPW probably more than any other promotion, and it's always fun and exciting to be able to work for them again.
Well, that's really cool. And you say that you said the name Seth Rollins. Now, you and I were talking beforehand about some of the folks that you've met as you've been doing this. So can you tell us a little bit about your past with coming up to this point, people you've met, that kind of thing?
Yeah, I'm just a local kid, grew up here in Muscatine, and dreamed of being a pro wrestler. This was before the age of the internet, and you couldn't just Google wrestling school. So it was a difficult journey to try to figure out how to get trained to be a pro wrestler. And there wasn't very much hope from my guidance counselors at Muscatine High School or anything like that. But I did end up finding a wrestling school in Dallas, Texas, and I got trained by Skandar Akbar and Alex Porto in Dallas, and had my first match at the Sportatorium in Dallas, Texas. An arena no longer around, but really one of the legendary arenas and facilities in all of pro wrestling. All the greats have wrestled there: Ric Flair, Bruiser Brody, the Von Erichs, Harley Race. I mean, any big name from the 60s, 70s, or 80s spent time at that arena. So it was really cool to have my first match there.
That is. And so you've traveled a lot with this, too.
Yeah, and now, for the really most of my career, I've spent it here in the Midwest. I have wrestled in Las Vegas. I have wrestled in some different places, such as Texas. But mainly, it's the Midwest circuit, Minnesota, Illinois, Chicago, the Quad Cities area, all over Iowa, Missouri. I wrestled for Harley Race down in Missouri, and that was always a great honor. Along the way, with Impact Pro Wrestling, I got the chance about 5 years ago to wrestle Hacksaw Jim Duggan, former WWE superstar. That was awesome. Someone that I had seen on TV when I was a kid, to get to wrestle against him as part of an IPW show was really cool.
That's awesome.
Up in Macokota. And along the way, I met a young kid, Kobe Lopez, who is from Buffalo, Iowa, who just had big dreams to become a big-time WWE wrestler. And now he's wrestling for WWE, Seth Rollins. Seeing the journey he went on has really been cool to see. To still keep in touch with him, to still see him giving back to pro wrestling with his wrestling school at the Black and Brave Wrestling Academy. It's just pretty awesome, and it's really helping out the local scene as well too, with giving all of the Midwest some really well trained, good young athletes. So, no, I've been able to do a lot of cool things, and wrestling for IPW for the Muscatine County Fair is just going to be another awesome event. I'm excited. The last time I wrestled in the area for a county fair was actually Louisa County Fair. A few years ago. That was the last time my father got to see me wrestle live, so that was always special, and it was for an IPW event. IPW does, I think they're doing 19 shows in this month all over the state of Iowa at different county fairs. So great entertainment, family-friendly show, so bring your kids. It's something that you can certainly bring your children to.
Excellent.
Yeah.
Excellent. Fun for the whole family.
Yeah, absolutely, yeah.
Yeah. And one thing, you always have to say when you're talking about wrestling is say what you want about it, but you guys are athletic. What you guys do is it's serious and it's tough.
Yep.
And I'm sure it takes a lot of training to get to that point where you can be, getting thrown around or doing some throwing around, that kind of thing.
Yeah, I think nowadays, I'm in my mid-40s, and every year, every 6 months, I have that conversation with myself. How much longer am I going to still do this? How much longer can I do this? And fortunately, I've never had a really serious injury that's caused me to say, hey, I can't do this anymore. I physically can't. But it's a challenge because I got to stay in shape. I've learned from over the years, especially at my age, it's better to just stay in shape than to get in shape. Mm-hmm. So sometimes someone will call you at the last minute, ask you to wrestle, or it's just better to be prepared. So I just try to stay in the gym 4 or 5 days a week, and physically with some of these great athletes you're in there wrestling against. Steve Manders used to wrestle for the Iowa Hawkeyes.
Wow.
They're not much for hitting people light. They don't understand that concept. They don't know that concept.
It's go hard or go home.
Exactly.
Right?
If you're in the ring, you better show up and be ready to give it as well as take it. And those guys hit hard. It's physical. It's tough. And head blows. I've suffered it all. Getting thrown outside the ring, steel chairs. It's not easy, and sometimes I'll look around in my regular life without my mask and say, I'm the only one here that got hit with a steel chair this weekend, So that's part of my everyday existence. So.
That's cool. And you mentioned your mask, so you're a luchador, right?
Yes.
Now, what made you choose that as what made you choose to be a luchador?
Well, I wrestled as a heel, a bad guy, for wrestling for many years. Mm-hmm. And, something I enjoyed, to be honest with you. Being the bad guy can be a lot of fun. Mm-hmm. And it's enjoyable to get people riled up and to have them boo you. Mm-hmm. If you do that, you did your job. And I was good at it. I was good at having people dislike me. You get a little older, you start having a family, and I just happened to be wrestling for Impact Pro Wrestling at a county fair outside of Des Moines. And I looked out in the audience, and I was trying to get people to boo me for being of Mexican descent and to chant USA, 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 USA. And I was doing my job, and I looked out in the audience, and I saw a young Hispanic family there, a mom and a dad who brought their kids to the event, and I felt bad that here they went to this event to have a good time and enjoy themselves. And, I was causing people to maybe make them feel a little bad. And I felt bad about that, and I really thought about it and said, you know what? I'm proud of being Hispanic. I'm proud of my culture, speaking Spanish. What can I do and still wrestle, but be a little bit more heroic about it, be more of a positive role model? And so it was pretty natural to think, hey, I could be a luchador. A luchador, I've trained with some luchadors in Chicago, Mexican wrestlers. I've been on some lucha cards. The mask has a long history in lucha libre in Mexico. It's something that Mexico is famous for all over the world. In England, you go to different parts of the world, people know what a luchador is. Mm-hmm. So there's a lot of great history to it. It's heroic. It's something that all cultures like and recognize. It got a superhero element. So now I can go out there and people cheer me and people root for me. All colors, all types of people.
That's awesome.
But I'm still showing some of my Hispanic pride. So
that's incredible, and especially at a time right now where that's kind of a cool thing. That's kind of a good thing to be doing. It seems so. That's awesome to see you make that turnaround. Go from you called it a heel. So does that mean like you're the
bad guy?
You're the bad guy.
Yep.
Okay, to make
and that's necessary in our business, mm-hmm. and in any movie, any form of entertainment, you got to have the good guy and the bad guy, mm-hmm. And like I said, I enjoyed it, but eventually I kind of outgrew it. And mm-hmm. being a family man, being a father, I decided, hey, you know what? I want to do something a little more positive. So.
That's really cool. That's really cool. So, so you've made the change over to a luchador, and now coming up for the one that's going to be starting tomorrow.
Night, yep.
What does it look like when you step out on the stage?
You still get a little bit nervous every time, but at 7 p.m. we're going to be putting on a great event, a great show. Again, the older I get, I really value that time as a family. When you get a chance to go out and you spend your evening of entertainment somewhere, I appreciate that. Mm-hmm. Even more than the money nowadays, even though people are spending hard-earned money to come watch you wrestle, to go to the fair, that money is a lot of money for a lot of families, but their time also. They're using their free time to watch a couple hours of pro wrestling. I take that pretty serious, and I try to work hard to entertain people and put smiles on their faces. And the beauty about Lucha Libre too is I enjoy being the good guy, but I also have a lot of color and a lot of flash. I got several different masks. I have capes and bright colors and shiny boots and all that stuff. And it's got a real comic book feel to it. So it's just a lot of fun to go out there and perform in front of fans. And I still enjoy that performance aspect. I walked at the Muscatine County Fair parade this weekend. I enjoy that. It's just fun to go out there. You get a little nervous, and it's going to be physical. You get a little nervous. You always wonder, hey, it's going to be hot out there. Am I going to get super exhausted or tired or beat up? But that's why we prepare hard. That's why we get ready.
Yep.
So
that's why you've got all that preparation ahead of time so that you're ready to when you step out there on the what do they call it? The ring?
The ring, the stage. Yeah, exactly. Under the spotlight. So yeah, it's always exciting. It's always fun. So I'm looking forward to seeing. Hopefully we get a great crowd. I hope people support. The Muscatine County Fair is trying something new, bringing a different form of entertainment. So I hope that they give wrestling a chance. For the people who have bought the fair passes already. That fair pass gets you into every grandstand event, gets you into the gate as well. It's included. So, hey, if maybe you're really interested in seeing the country music concert on Saturday, or maybe the Demolition Derby, hey, you've got your fun passes. Come check out Impact Pro Wrestling Wednesday night, 7 p.m. It's going to be a great event for the whole family. So
and should be a whole lot of fun. Now, we do have the numbers for those. So an adult fun pass is $35, and a kids fun pass is $20, and that's a really good deal. Now, I've also still got more to be given away here on air as well, so be sure to be listening for more chances to win as well. I'm going to be giving them out all the way, probably up until the start on Wednesday. So
cool.
we're really looking forward to sending some folks your way.
Awesome, yeah. We'll hope to see a great crowd and have a lot of fun. I'll be available for pictures as well afterwards with your kids, with anyone who would like a photo with Latin Thunder. Obviously, after I get done wrestling during intermission, I'd be happy to do that. So
excellent. Well, so my last question: what's it like being a local legend?
I'm certainly not a local legend, but I do take a lot of pride in the fact that wrestling is a little easier to get into now. It's never been easy, the process, but I am proud of the fact that, hey, I had a dream to become a pro wrestler. It was a difficult journey to even just get into the business. The business has changed a lot over the years, so I do take pride that, hey, I came from this small town and didn't let it get in my way necessarily. The fact there wasn't a lot of places to train or to know information, but it's cool. I remember being without my mask, and someone who was a local police officer saw me at the Come and Go and getting gas and getting a soda after work, and they saw my tattoo, and they recognized, they're like, hey, man, look at those guns. That's got to be Latin Thunder. And, hey, that was flattering. It's always cool to do that, So I do enjoy it. It's a lot of fun. And again, I'm in my mid-40s. At some point, I'm not going to do it anymore, and I'm going to miss that aspect,
Well, I think I'm looking forward to a good show.
Awesome.
I think it's going to be awesome. I think we're going to have a really good time, and I think there's going to be a big crowd. I don't doubt it for a second.
I hope so.
So we're looking forward to it. Thank you, Latin Thunder, for joining us here in the studio. Don't forget, Muscatine County Fair starting tomorrow night. You can drop out there at 7 o'clock for a grandstand event. It's going to be Impact Wrestling. Latin Thunder will be there himself on the stage, in the ring, giving it his all.
Yep, Latin Thunder will be wrestling. IPW women's action, great women's wrestling, IPW title match. Former Iowa Hawkeye Steve Manders. Just going to be a great event, great night of action in pro wrestling, Lucha Libre. Just looking forward to seeing all the fans. We're
looking forward to it too. Thank you so much for joining us in the studio, Latin Thunder. And as always, this is Moving Forward, brought to you by Muscatine Power and Water. MockLink is always Muscatine's fastest internet, and gigabit speed is coming. MockLink TV beats satellite and includes video and music streaming. New subscribers save big, even more when you bundle. Learn more at mpw.org. Again, I'm Jordan Davis, Latin Thunder, joining us in the studio for Moving Forward this morning on AM 860 and FM 95.1 KWPC and the voice of Muscatine.com.